In this video you are going to see a review of GPS Tracker mobile application which is available on KaiOS mobile devices. So once you open the app, brief ad is being shown, then you close it and then you can see the intro to the app. Once you press OK, the application is open, and then as you can see the main part of the screen is covered by a map. It's actually, in this case, it's OpenStreetMap, but it also supports other map layers. On the upper side of the screen we can see the number 1 button. Number 1 can be used to zoom out the map, whereas button number 3 can be used to zoom in the map, and also number 2 serves to center the map to the current location. As we can see, it's currently being centered, but if we pan the map, like by pressing these directional buttons, you can basically pan across all the map. So if you want to center it again to the current location, you just need to press number 2. We can see there is a button called Info. So when you press button Info, a small panel is being shown where you can see the current speed, battery charge. Then also there is a current distance traveled. Currently, since we haven't started tracking mode, it's not shown. Then we can see the current date and time. Actually, in this case, it's just time. Then we can see the elevation. We can see direction, and also we can see the distance between the center of the map and the current location. So if you want to close this panel, you just need to press again Info. Just once. Okay. Then there are a number of options. So let's open the option screen. Okay, so we can see there are actually two parts. One is called Action and the other one is called Configuration. So within the actions, we have a number of options. We can list all GPX files stored in internal memory of a phone or SD card. As you know, GPX files serve to exchange GPS tracks, waypoints, so basically it's a standard format. Then you can even download from some websites, and then you can simply load them to the mobile phone and show them within this app. Then we also have a list of tracking sessions. By tracking sessions, those are actually referring to sessions that you start. So for example, you go for a hiking and then you want to check your distance, your travel path, then you need to start a tracking session. We'll show a bit more about this later. Then we have a help. Well, help is quite extensive, so there are actually all these options that I'm going to show in this video. You can find them there, very well explained. And then we have exit app. And within the configuration, again, you have a number of options. Basically, you can choose a map source among many different, like OpenStreetMap, OpenTopoMap, and so on. We are currently using OpenStreetMap. Then you can choose between metric and imperial units. Then you can also choose a minimum time difference between checkpoints. This configuration is important when you start a tracking session. So this configuration allows you to select how often you want to check your location. So if this is set to 5 seconds, it means that at least 5 seconds need to pass between consecutive tracking points. Here we can see the same, but for distance. Then here it's at least 5 meters need to be traveled in order to check the corresponding tracking point. Of course, you can choose to save all of them, so meaning that there is no need to travel a specific distance in order to record a new point. You just the application just records them all. Then we have minimum location accuracy. In this case, it's set to 10 meters, meaning that the quality of location needs to be at least 10 meters accurate in order to be recorded. Then we have map panning speed. which you can set it to some different numbers. It just speed which the application uses to span the map. So if you set it to a higher number, it means that when you press a button, it will just move more across the map. This is the same, but just for the zoom. So now you can also zoom faster or slower. And then you can choose whether to center map to the current position. As we can see, this option is checked, meaning that once you center the map to current position, while moving, the map will actually pan automatically. Then you can also choose whether to save a GPX file automatically when you stop the tracking session, and also whether you want to show GPX waypoints on the map. So when you load a GPX file, you can choose whether to basically show the waypoints there. So let's close this configuration. Okay, now we are back to the main screen. So as you can see, there is a main button, start. When you start a tracking session like now, you can see the application asks whether you want to track a new tracking session. I say okay, and then you need to type the name. So this name will be saved, and you will also see that it will be stored in a GPX file as well. So it's just some random string, okay? And now the tracking session is being recorded. So now, since I'm not moving, of course, it won't record as many points as it would record in the case if I were moving, but it's how it works. And then you can also add a new waypoint. So let's imagine that you are hiking in the mountains, and then you want to record some point of interest, like maybe a river or a bridge or something that you want to store as a separate option. Then you just press number 0, and then you need to type the waypoint name. So let's type, for example, bridge. Okay, and then as you can see, a new marker is being shown on the screen. Let's zoom a bit. Yeah, we can see that it's being shown at the current location. So basically, it means that it will save the current location as a waypoint. Okay, so once you finish your tracking session, so for example, you finished your hiking, you can just press stop, and then the application just checks whether you press it by accident. So if you it asks you whether you want to stop the current tracking session. So if you agree, you press OK. And then this tracking session is stored in the app. So let's find it. We need to go to options and then list tracking sessions. And here you can see the last one, actually this one. We can press to view it, or we can even delete it, but in this case we are going to view. Okay, so we can see there. So let's see, let's go and see all the tracking sessions that we have stored previously in the app. So here we have a list of tracking sessions. Okay, so let's, for example, choose this one because it's a bit longer. I can delete it if I want from the database, or I can view it. Okay, so when you press button view, then there is a graph showing the altitude over time. Well, in this case, it was like a cable car, so it runs down very fast. And then you can also find more information about this track. So you can see the name, total distance traveled, when you started, ended, moving speed, total speed, minimal elevation, maximum, and so on. So all this information is being shown here. You can export this tracking session as a GPX file. So I press export, and then you can see this file has been saved. Okay, and then you can also show it on the map. So when you press show, you can see it here. So as we have seen, the map pans automatically. It goes to that tracking session to show starting and ending points. And then you can use again button 2 to go back to the current location, which is not this one. So when you press 2, it goes back to the current location. But then if you want also to go to the currently shown GPX track, then you need to press button 5. So when you press 5, it goes here. You can also press 4. So for example, you would press 4 in the case when there are multiple GPX files shown on the screen, and then you can change your currently shown GPX file. And then you can also delete it. So here I press number 6 and then just confirm it, okay, and then this is being deleted. It doesn't mean that it will delete your GPX file, so it's not being deleted, just deletes it from the map here. Okay, then as we can see, we can also list GPX files. So here it will show you all the GPX files that you have on your mobile phone. So we can see there are many different that I saved over time, and then you can view any GPX file. So for example, let's view this one. When you press view button, it's being loaded. Now you can see again the elevation, you can see more information about the track, and then you can show it. And now you see the tracks with all different waypoints. Previously I loaded a GPX file. Now I can load a tracking session. Let's choose, for example, this one. And then I press show. Now it's been shown. So if you remember, I said previously that you can then switch among different tracks. So I just press number 6, and as you can see, I just go among all of them. So currently there are 2, but if there are like 5, then you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again go back to the first one. And I can again delete the currently selected one. So if I go 5, I will go to the only one that remains because I removed the previous one. Okay, so this is related to tracking sessions. So just to understand better, this term tracking session is actually tracking session is a collection of tracks that you record by using this app. So it's being stored in an internal memory, and then you can also export them as a GPX file to share them with your friends, for example. So you can, when you go for hiking, then you can record your hike and then export it as a GPX file, send to your friend via messaging application or via email, and then they can follow the same route. Okay, let's just go briefly through the help section. So basically, as you can see here, everything is very well explained. So you have all the options explained, different shortcuts. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each button serves as a specific shortcut. Then info panel again is being described. Tracking sessions and so on. So I believe you won't require any further help after reading all this because everything is quite well explained. Okay, and then if you want to close this application, you just press exit app and then OK if you want, or cancel if you don't want to exit it. Okay, also there is just one tip for you. So for example, let's imagine that you start a tracking session and then by accident you exit the app. So what will happen? Well, in this case, nothing will actually happen. So next time when you start the app, it will detect that you haven't finished the previous tracking session, and then the app will ask you whether you want to continue or you just stop the tracking session. So you don't need to worry that you might lose some of your tracking points. So the application stores them all the time. So they're not being stored in the RAM memory, they're being stored directly in the database. So okay, so let's close the app, and that would be all for this review. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to support this channel and get notification when new videos on KaiOS app and mobile phone reviews are published, please subscribe to this channel, like the videos or share them with your friends.